Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins, host of Ring of Fire and Fair and Balanced, and I am sitting in for David for the remainder of this week. And if you want even more from me, you can follow me across social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and unfortunately I am still on Twitter/X. But on all of those platforms, you can find me at Farron Balanced. Well, folks, we've still got a lot to talk about with regard to what has come out of Georgia this week. And I think the very first thing that I want to start with in this segment is an announcement that Donald Trump made yesterday. Yesterday, Donald Trump announced that this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time from his Bedminster golf course in New Jersey, he is going to finally release a report showing all of the voter fraud that took place in Georgia. And of course, at that point, they're going to have no choice but to just drop all the charges against him. Now, I'll read you a statement in just a moment, but I do find it interesting because Donald Trump, in his freak out over why are they indicting me now? Why didn't they do it 2.5 years ago? Okay, fair enough. Actually, it's not. But if you actually have a report showing there was massive voter fraud in Georgia that would have changed the outcome of the election, why'd you wait 2.5 years to release it? And in fact, why didn't you release it today? Why didn't you do it yesterday when you actually made the announcement? Why don't you do it tomorrow? Why do we have to wait till Monday at 11 a.m.? If you have it, just give it to us so we can take the appropriate steps, to get the charges against you dismissed. We certainly don't want to prosecute an innocent man. So if you have this report that you say you have, please release it because, it seems pretty relevant. Here's the announcement Trump made. A large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on the presidential election fraud, which took place in Georgia, is almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news conference at 11 a.m. on Monday of next week in Bedminster, New Jersey. Based on the results of this conclusive report, all charges should be dropped against me and others. There will be a complete exoneration. They never went after those that rigged the election. They only went after those that fought to find the riggers. That's the word he uses, all caps, riggers. So I guess that's why. That's why he can't release it today, because it's almost done. Like, we are right there at the finish line of this report. I mean, apparently, I guess they've been working on it ever since the 2020 election, started in early November. And, oh my God, we're just like 3 days away, 4 days away. And then it'll be done. And then, of course, Donald Trump gets exonerated. And then we crown him king of the United States for the remainder of his days, right? This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Like, I watch this guy make these announcements, say these stupid things, and first and foremost, I'm reminded of Mike Lindell. Lindell's got another event coming up, and he teased it out 2 months ago. He's like, God gave me a plan, is what he said, to save the country, and I'm going to give it to you in August. And he made that announcement back in June. And I have to imagine, like, if God really gave you the plan, I'm sure God's like, hey, don't sit on this because you need to save the country. So if you can go ahead and just do it now. But no, they got to get the pillow codes into the website so people can use them and they can put them out during the conference. And Trump's thing is virtually the same. It's like, oh, we got it. We got the report. We're gonna release it, but not yet. You got to sit and stew for a few days, and then we're gonna push it out on Monday in a big news conference from my golf course. Right next to Ivana's grave that apparently hasn't been mowed since they covered it with dirt, according to a Daily Mail report earlier this week. So lots of weirdness at Bedminster. But according to Republican Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Donald Trump is once again completely full of it. Brian Kemp, following Donald Trump's announcement, sent out this post on X, formerly known as Twitter. The 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. For nearly 3 years now, anyone with evidence of fraud has failed to come forward under oath and prove anything in a court of law. Our elections in Georgia are secure, accessible, and fair, and will continue to be as long as I am governor. The future of our country is at stake in 2024, and that must be our focus. So he's got to go with the typical Republican thing, as I talked about, oh, the country's falling apart and we got to focus on that. But the important part of his message is Trump is absolutely lying through his teeth. There is no massive report because there was no massive fraud. And if there was fraud, you would think that any one of the numerous lawsuits filed by his attorneys and his allies would have come up with it. But these people have been given every possible opportunity, in many cases, sometimes too many opportunities, to provide this stuff, and they haven't. There's nothing left to say. There's nothing more. Now, it will be very interesting to see what Donald Trump puts out in his little final report, but I can guarantee you it's not going to be anything that's going to help his case, and it sure as heck isn't going to be anything that's actually going to lead to his exoneration.
Did you know that anyone in the world can very easily access a ton of data about you online? Data brokers collect huge amounts of data about everything you do on your phone, your computer, where you go, what you look at. But we recently learned that government agencies like the FBI have also been buying a ton of this data from data brokers just to keep track of people without needing a court order. Criminals can also use the information to target you. Ad companies and political consultants can buy it and try to influence you, but you can stop it. Our sponsor, Incogni, is an affordable service that specializes in getting your data removed from these sites. Incogni will send data removal requests to the major data brokers. They are required by law to remove it upon request. If your information stays online, Incogni will just follow up with them about removing it. It's that simple, and you will be kept updated every step of the way so you know what's going on. What Incogni can accomplish is amazing. I use it myself, and my audience gets 60% off. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.